Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the story of a crypto that went from being basically a discount coupon to the engine of a huge digital economy. Yup, we're talking about Binance Coin, or BNB. How exactly did it grow from this simple little exchange token into something, well, so much bigger? And what were the big trade-offs that had to be made along the way? That's what we're going to unpack. All right, let's dive in. And to really get it, we've got to go right back to its surprisingly humble beginnings. So back in 2017, BNB had just one main job, giving you a discount on trading fees. Seriously, you can think of it like loyalty points or maybe store credit. It was a really smart way to attract people to the Binance exchange and, more importantly, keep them there. And well, it worked. Okay, so how does something like that, basically store credit, turn into this crypto giant? Well, it wasn't an overnight thing. There were a few really important steps. You can really see the evolution here. It launched in 2017 as a token on Ethereum, nothing too unusual there. Then, in 2019, it migrated to its own blockchain, the Binance Chain. But look at 2020. That's the big one, the launch of the BNB Smart Chain. This was the moment that set the stage for everything that came next. Now, right from the very start, Binance had this interesting little mechanism called a token burn. The idea was pretty simple. They'd take a chunk of their profits, use it to buy back BNB from the market, and then poof, they'd permanently destroy it. It's kind of like a company doing a stock buyback. The goal is to reduce the total supply over time, making the coins that are left just a little bit more scarce and hopefully more valuable.
Okay, so all the pieces are in place. But now we get to the moment that really lit the fuse. This is where things get really interesting.
So what happens when the world's most popular smart contract network gets, well, too popular? During what everyone called DeFi summer back in 2020, the Ethereum network was basically a victim of its own success. It got incredibly jammed up, super congested, and the fees to use it, what they call gas, went through the roof. It became really, really expensive.
And right at that moment, Binance saw its chance. They rolled out the BNB Smart Chain. And look at the comparison here. It was designed to be a faster, way cheaper alternative. And the killer feature? It was compatible with all of Ethereum's tools. So for developers, it was a super easy switch. An absolute game changer.
And just like that, BNB's job description got a massive upgrade. It wasn't just for discounts anymore. Suddenly, it was the gas needed to fuel transactions on thousands of apps. You could use it for staking to help secure the whole network. You could even use it for governance or to pay for things like travel. It became the lifeblood of this entire new ecosystem. And the result? An absolute explosion. We're talking about thousands of decentralized apps being built on the BNB Smart Chain. A huge wave of developers and users came flooding in. All of a sudden, BNB had this incredible utility that had nothing to do with the Binance exchange itself. It was powering a whole new world of projects. But, and this is a big but, all of this rapid growth didn't come for free. It came with a pretty significant trade-off, one that created this core debate around what BNB really is. So how did the BNB chain get so fast and cheap? Well, the secret sauce is its consensus model, which is called Proof of Staked Authority, or POSA. Basically, instead of having a huge, decentralized group of people validating transactions, it relies on a much smaller, select group of validators. And yeah, that efficiency came with a catch. This approach got a lot of criticism, especially from folks in the crypto community, who really value decentralization above everything else. For them, having a small group in charge, no matter how efficient, goes against the whole point of blockchain. So you see, this is the fundamental trade-off right here. On one hand, you get high speed and low fees, which is awesome for users. But on the other hand, you have a system that is, by design, more centralized. That means fewer validators and potential concerns about who really has the power. And that brings us pretty much to today, where BNB is standing at a really critical crossroads. So what's next? Well, there are some pretty big hurdles to clear. First up, regulatory scrutiny. This is probably the single biggest risk factor for the whole Binance ecosystem. Then there's the intense competition. There are new, faster blockchains popping up all the time. And finally, there's that constant pressure, both from inside and out, to become more decentralized. But despite all those headwinds, they're not just sitting still. The path forward is all about expanding the ecosystem even further,
pushing into areas like DeFi, Web3, and even bringing real-world assets onto the blockchain. They're trying to stay ahead of the curve.
And that really leaves us with the big, lingering question, doesn't it? Is BNB's fate forever tied to the Binance exchange, or can this huge ecosystem it's created actually stand on its own 2 feet? The answer to that is what's really going to define its place in history.